Coming in new at noon, the Supreme Court is hearing arguments in a major case on transgender health care for minors. At the center of it all is whether states like Idaho and Tennessee can ban puberty blockers and hormone treatments for people under the age of 18. Natalie Brand has an update on today's hearing.
Demonstrators representing both sides of the issue gathered outside the Supreme Court Wednesday as justices listened to arguments in a landmark case centered on medical care for transgender youth. The case challenges the constitutionality of a Tennessee law that bans gender-affirming care such as puberty blockers or hormone therapy for transgender adolescents. Some Tennessee lawmakers argue the state is trying to protect children from life-altering risks of what's known as gender-affirming care, which they call risky and unproven.
I think this is ultimately about putting biological truth and science over ideology, and that's what Tennessee is trying to do.
The Biden administration is asking the justices to reverse a lower court's ruling that upheld state bans like Tennessee's.
The problem with Tennessee's law here is not that it's just a little bit over-inclusive or a little bit under-inclusive, but that it's a sweeping categorical ban where the legislature didn't even take into account the significant health benefits that can come from providing gender-affirming care, including reduced suicidal ideation and suicide attempts.
24 states have similar measures on the books. Advocates worry if the Supreme Court upholds the ban, it could open the door for outlawing such care for adults. While 0.6% of the adult population identifies as trans, more than 5% of high school students now identify as transgender or are questioning whether they may be.
If the Constitution doesn't take sides, if there's strong, forceful, scientific policy arguments on both sides in a situation like this, why isn't it best to leave it to the democratic process?
The case is considered the most significant of this term, and only the second time the High Court has heard a major transgender rights case. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the Supreme Court.